Let's be honest, we're all a little obsessed with data. We track our runs, our steps, our personal bests. It's fun. But what happens when that fun, personal data has to stand up in the high-stakes world of corporate finance and compliance? Well, today, we're going to dive into a revolution that's turning those casual metrics into cold, hard, financial-grade facts.
I mean, think about it. You probably do this yourself. We log every single run, every bike ride. We get that little dopamine hit from hitting a new personal best, and of course, sharing it with our friends on apps. It's a whole world built on motivation and community.
And that brings us to the big question, right? What is all that data really worth? When it's not just about bragging rights, but about billion-dollar decisions in insurance or environmental reporting, does the data we collect for fun actually hold up under pressure?
Yeah, the short answer to that question is a big no. And that leads us right into our first section here, fun data, serious problems. We're about to unpack why the data from our favorite fitness apps, while awesome for us personally, creates some major headaches when real money is on the line.
Let's just start with a number to put this in perspective. 76 million users. That's how many users a platform like Strava has. It is a colossal amount of data. But here's the catch. It's what the industry calls faith-based. We hope it's accurate, we trust that people are being honest, but there's no real system to actually prove any of it.
So the real question is, would you trust this faith-based data with billions of dollars? Can an insurance company really lower your premiums based on it? Can a corporation use it to report their carbon emissions to regulators? The answer you'll get from auditors and regulators is a hard, unequivocal no.
Okay, so this slide really breaks it all down. On one side, you've got your faith-based data. It's full of GPS glitches, people can easily cheat it, they call it digital doping, and this is the kicker, the platforms themselves legally say you can't rely on it. Then, on the other side, you have verified data. This isn't just a claim, it's immutable proof. It's locked in with hardware, it's ready for an audit, and it's strong enough to stand up in court or get insured.
And get this quote says it all. It's pulled directly from Strava's own terms of service. They are telling you, in black and white, that they make no promise that their data is accurate or reliable. For a social app, totally fine. But for a business trying to make a multi-million-dollar decision, that's a deal breaker.
So, if faith-based data is the problem, what's the solution? Well, that brings us right to our next section. We're going to look at the new technology that's emerged to bridge this huge gap between just making a claim and having verifiable proof.
And the solution is a technology called Veritat. Now, this isn't just another app. It's a patented, multi-layer verification framework. Its entire purpose is to do something that's never really been done before. Take a physical activity, like your bike commute, and turn it into a rock-solid, unchangeable, audit-grade piece of financial data.
Okay, so how does it actually work? Well, it's a multi-step process. First, it identifies you and your equipment, say your bike, with a hardware handshake using tech like RFID or NFC. It's proving you are who you say you are. Second, it monitors the whole activity from start to finish. Third, and this is super important, it uses AI to analyze the data in real time, sniffing out any fraud or weird anomalies, so no more digital doping. And finally, it records the whole thing as an unchangeable, tamper-resistant record that an auditor can actually trust.
Remember that disclaimer we just saw about unreliability? Now look at this. This is the whole point of verification tech. It takes something ephemeral, a bike ride that just happens and then it's over, and it turns it into something immutable, something permanent, proven, and valuable. It's a night and day difference. Now this is where it gets really powerful. We've seen the what and the how, so let's get to the so what. We're going to start with a massive industry that runs on data and risk, healthcare, and see how this verified data can totally change the financial game.
Because at the end of the day, the question for any business is simple, right? How does this actually save us money? It's not about collecting data for fun. It's about creating real, tangible financial value from it.
And here's the answer. Studies have shown that verifiably active commuters can lead to a reduction in healthcare claims for their employer by as much as 12% a year. And this isn't just a guess from a wellness program. This is an actuarial calculation based on proven behavior.
So here's the key takeaway. Businesses have to keep huge amounts of cash locked away in healthcare reserves to cover future claims. It's basically frozen capital they can't touch. But, and this is a big but, if they can prove to their actuaries that their workforce is healthier and lower risk, they can legally release some of that cash back into the business.
And they can prove it because this verified data is literally designed to meet the incredibly tough standards of actuaries, the people who calculate all this risk. It hits the marks for data quality, for credibility, for clear reporting. It's not just data anymore. It's evidence that stands up to the highest level of financial scrutiny.
Okay, so it works for unlocking money in healthcare, but what about the gigantic world of environmental reporting and sustainable finance? Well, it turns out this is another area that is absolutely desperate for good data, a place where proof is everything.
Let's look at another jaw-dropping number, $35 trillion. That's the size of the sustainable finance market. To get access to that kind of capital, companies need to prove their ESG credentials. The problem is, a lot of the data they're using today is pretty weak, and that leads to all those accusations of greenwashing.
And to do it right, you have to meet these really strict regulatory standards, like the ones from the California Air Resources Board, or CARB. This table shows you exactly how a verification system is built to do that. It proves a car trip was actually replaced. It's measurable with hardware, it's permanent, it's accurate, and it's monitored all the time. It literally checks every single box. And when you check all those boxes, something pretty amazing happens. A company's data on their employee commutes, what's called Scope 3 emissions, suddenly becomes audit-proof. So what used to be this giant compliance headache and a huge legal risk for greenwashing, it transforms into a bankable asset that can unlock green bonds.
So we've seen how this works in healthcare, we've seen it in ESG. Let's kind of bring it all together. In this new era of accountability, the role for any data that has financial weight behind it is becoming super simple. You've got to be able to prove it.
And this chart right here just lays it all out, crystal clear. Unverified data, it fails audits, it creates risk, and at the end of the day, it's just marketing fluff with no legal standing. Verified data is the exact opposite. It's designed to pass audits, it lowers risk, it creates real, tradable assets, and it's legally defensible.
Which leaves us with one final thought. In a world that demands proof and accountability more and more every day, the data your organization uses is no longer neutral. It's either a valuable, defensible asset that creates new opportunities, or it's a hidden, ticking liability just waiting to cause a problem. So the question everyone needs to start asking is, which one is yours?